Now, Christian, we were discussing the Lagos election a while ago. We're also looking at other states in this general election, and this just concluded general election. What do you make of what transpired, particularly in Lagos State?
It's quite unfortunate that Nigeria has regressed badly in election management. And that regression is happening as at the time INEC was making the highest of the promises. Before the elections, there was an opinion poll, I can't remember which of the companies now, where Nigerians expressed that 68% of Nigerians do not trust INEC to conduct a sufficiently free, fair, and credible elections. If a poll is to be held today, I don't think that INEC, by the way, 68% of people not giving a thumbs up to INEC is bad. If you conduct that poll today, the results will be even more devastating. What we saw in Nigeria was quite unfortunate. It was sad. It is happening, but it was preventable. And so that's why all of us, the media, the civil society, Nigeria, the political parties, must take collective responsibility for the failures we witnessed in the two elections. It is not just to be blamed INEC. It is not just to blame the police or the military or the political actors. We will have to, at some point, take collective responsibility for a failure to address the issues that led to the disastrous outcome we saw come February 25th, and then the governorship and State House of Assembly elections.
Now, when you talk about responsibilities, I specifically asked about Lagos State, and you didn't quite address that because issues are still emanating from there. I'm sure you're aware that some sections, some groups are accusing the Labour State candidate of incisive comments in the video that he has put out. And do you have you seen that video? How incisive is what he said?
Well, I've seen the video. That is the mildest way to react to the carnage that happened in Lagos. Look, those who are accusing the candidate of incisive comments failed to track the comments of, for instance, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, where he was cutting a viral video telling his supporters that power is not stand-alone. They should run, they should snatch, and that they should fight for it. And then in Lagos, we saw people running with ballot boxes. We saw people fighting literally. We saw people snatching literally. And those people failed to flag his comments as incisive. On the election day, for instance, pre-election day, we saw comments from people like MC Oromo. We saw comments online, including from Bayo Onanuga, who used to be, I don't know, but if you track comments online, offline, there are several, examples of people who have made more inciting comments. And unfortunately, the partisan system we find ourselves in Nigeria is that white is no longer white, that white is black. People who are worried about incisive comments should talk about what Bola Ahmed Tinubu said, should talk about what some Bales said in Lagos, should talk about what some journalists have been writing about the things in Lagos, should talk about what the thugs actually said in Lagos. Unfortunately, the police found in itself to dismiss such of one of the thug statements as mere comic relief. Unfortunately, they don't want to appraise Gbadebo's video through that same prism. It's quite unfortunate the kind of partisanship we have in Nigeria today.
Are you also aware of the petition by the Minister of State for Labour and Employment, Festus Keyamo, and he's asking that the Labour Party presidential candidate and the vice presidential candidate should be arrested, interrogated, and possibly charged for treason for the comments they have been making?
Nobody takes, for instance, that person you referenced, nobody takes his words seriously. He claims to be a senior advocate of Nigeria. Unfortunately, even for his party, they couldn't repose that kind of confidence in him to draft him into their legal team, right? So what he's just doing is mere acting, mere drama, and mere attention seeking. He's worried that if he does not shout the loudest, that he might not be invited to continue feasting on Nigeria's collective patrimony. So all the theatrics you see from him writing letters I mean, I would be surprised tomorrow if he leads a demonstration to, for instance, DSS office or to INEC office, asking them to arrest Badebo, to arrest P2B, or to arrest anybody, or even shut down any TV platform for that matter. So it is those who ascribe value to the things that the man says that I have issues with. Ordinarily, nobody ascribes things to what the man says, and it shouldn't form a subject of discussion whatsoever.
Some persons have said that we need to have conversations about the many developments from these 2023 elections, and of course this is part of it, but we also need to have more conversation. We will go to the social media to find out what is trending politically, and when we come back, this conversation will continue. Thank you very much, Amaka, for bringing us what is trending on social media politically. We're still having these conversations, and Chima is still on the line. Now, these conversations, Chima, which areas would you say require very urgent attention for our electoral process to improve?
Well, first is the failure of systems and processes. And you recall that we were on your studio to discuss improving the systems and the processes, because what people tend to focus on is that no system works without a process. So if, for instance, you say that the beavers is foolproof, who has access to the login details of the beavers? Who is responsible for issuing it out? What is the process like? What is the process of transmitting results like? What is the process around IRF like? What is it? So there is a whole lot of discussions that needs to be had around systems and processes, strengthening INEC systems and processes. That is number one. Then you have to talk about the voter register, where as today there is a high preponderance of fake voters, underage voters, and aliens on Nigeria's voter register. So we have to have that discussion to say, are we going to clean up this voter register? If yes, can we invent? Because I've mentioned to you that ABIS failed almost completely in eliminating the several incidences of underage voters we have on our register. So either we are going to improve on ABIS to weed out those unfit elements on our voter register, or we have the discussion to say, let us even dismantle this voter register and build back from ground up. So that is discussion needs to be had. Then you're talking about the review of the appointment protocol for INEC commissioners, the INEC chairman, the resident electoral commissioners, the returning officers, including even the ad hoc staff. What is the recruitment process like, and what is their training process like? For instance, on the day of the election, on the day of the presidential election, by 2 p.m. on the day of the presidential election, INEC was still recruiting people who will form coalition agents for that same election. And we have proof of this. By 2 p.m. they were sending messages to people to show up at the INEC office. We have proof of this thing. So how come INEC is recruiting in the middle of an election? So people have been shortlisted, but they were not given the final approval. It was during the course of the election. So we have to have discussions around how do you even populate INEC staff, both the ones who are real staff of INEC and the ones who are ad hoc staff that are brought in for election management duties. And we also have to have discussions around, for instance, issues of insecurity, issues of sovereignty, issues of ballot box snatching. And then the most important element seems to be now that it seems that almost all elections now, consequential elections, especially presidential and national assembly and governorship elections, end up at the Supreme Court. So not only do Nigerians no longer decide who their president is, but it seems that it's now a 7-man panel of the Supreme Court that determines who becomes what in the Nigerian process. So we have to have discussions around how do we get back Nigeria from being decided in the courtroom rather than in the open field where ballots are cast.
All right, thank you so much, Chima Christian. The conversation certainly will continue, and we hope that very soon we'll get to destination point. Let me